Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another Pokemon Journeys review for you guys. Now, don't get this confused with the English dub Pokemon Journeys. This is Pokemon Journeys episode 24 of the Japanese version. What's going to happen actually is when I finish actually watching the first 12 episodes of the English dub of Pokemon Journeys on Netflix, I'll probably make an English dub, first 12 episode review slash thoughts on the Pokemon Journeys English dub. But in the meantime, I'm going to only really be doing, well, really, if I'm being honest, if you're an English dub Pokemon fan and you're just watching my sub content to see like what my thoughts are on, the episodes going forward, and I'll even rephrase that in my English dub video too. But the sub version I'm going to review episodically. The dub occasionally on some episodes, some of the bigger episodes, I'll probably give my thoughts on those episodes and stuff like that. But we're here to talk about Pokemon episode 24. And this is the episode where Team Rocket, for I guess the first time in like their 21, 22 years, they finally get a break. Just like last week, this episode was a filler comedy episode. Like legit, it was a filler comedy. I wrote down notes, but I really could just go in deep. I could really just tell you what it really is about. Essentially, the episode starts off in the Team Rocket's headquarters. They're doing something, and then Matori, the one chick we saw from Sun and Moon, who Jesse has like I guess a butting head rivalry with, kind of says that Giovanni's giving them, a break. But we later find out it was kind of her plan because she didn't want Jesse, James, and Meowth to get involved into the plan or something like that. So for like I said, for some reason, out of all the times, it takes the Team Rocket, Jesse, James, and Meowth, like I think 21 or 22 years for them to finally get their first like legit break from all the work they've done, you know, stuff like that. And throughout the episode, they run into Ash and Go, and they have to fight these urges of like trying to capture Pikachu and stuff like that. Like, so there was one point where Jessie had Pikachu in her hands, just saving her from some skateboarder who didn't see Pikachu, so he didn't get run over. It's funny because Jessie was like, "Well, I had Pikachu in the palm of my hands" and stuff like that. So it was pretty freaking funny. Yeah. Like I said, this episode was pure comedy. The reason why Ash and Go are in this episode is really from the standpoint of the fact that the Professor Sakagi, he essentially tells him, there's this resort area in the Sinnoh region where there's this lake and there's this Pokemon called the Lord or something like that. Um, you know, they make a few references in this episode about the Lake Guardians, about some super strong Pokemon, like when Team Rocket was there. They showed this map and it showed the three lakes of the the Lake Guardians. Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie. I think that's what they were hinting at in this episode, the Lake Guardians. But I'm guessing the Lord Pokemon in this episode was a giant Magikarp, which Go catches. Obviously, he catches another Magikarp and then he catches a Goldeen. So those are the Pokemon he catches in this episode. At least for the freaking giant Magikarp, he actually had to work to catch that, and he actually used another Pokemon other than Raboot, which we saw him use his Oddish. This is like one of the first. I think this is like the first time at not Ash Go uses another Pokemon other than Raboot. Which is cool to see. That's been a one thing Pokemon fans. I'm like, can you Go use his other Pokemon? So the fact that we saw his Oddish in this episode just use Sleep Powder to help contribute to him catching a Pokemon, good. That's the way I think Go should start catching Pokemon. Anyways, in this series, if he's gonna catch a Pokemon he wants to catch, battle the Pokemon, and catch it. I liked how they did it. Can Pokemon consistently do this with Go, where if he's gonna catch a Pokemon of the week episode, because that's Go's thing, every week it's always Go catching a new Pokemon he's never seen before, or something like that. Can they make him battle the Pokemon before he catches it instead of just straight up catching it? Okay, now the Goldeen and the Magikarp, okay, he fished them out of the water and he caught him. What are they gonna do? Nothing. So yeah. That's it. There's this explosion where Matori and she has these elite Team Rocket members with her that steal these Pokemon at these resort areas. Go and Ash fight the elite, Team Rocket guards. They get mollywopped pretty bad. Pikachu gets captured, and then eventually Jesse, James, and Meowth all feel bad, and then in order to essentially, and they have come up with this plan so Giovanni can get mad at Matori for failing the mission. They kind of sabotage Matori's mission by helping Ash and Go save the Pokemon, and essentially it all backfires for the Elite Team Rocket guard. They retreat, and that's where the episode ends off, where you have like this decrepit, Matori looking all like she's been in a fight, and essentially, I guess, Giovanni yelled at her for failing the mission, and that just makes James, Jesse, and Meowth happy and stuff like that. Now, the funny thing is, their plan was to get the Pokemon out, but then steal the Pokemon and give them back to Giovanni, so then Giovanni could be in so they can be in the good graces of Giovanni. Sadly, they couldn't do that because Officer Jenny was there, and then again, Ash and Go were there, and then plus the Pokemon, they actually came back to help assist Ash and Go. So that's why, the other Team Rocket members retreated and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's really it of the episode, honestly. It's another dull, boring filler episode, just like last week, just for pure comedy reasons, This video is probably not even be any long. Like, it's going to be like an 8-9 minute video. But that's really it. Didn't particularly care for this episode. I still watched it, but I didn't care. Again, I said it last week, I'm going to say it before. The show has no point, no overall or overarching plot point. It's just filler. Oh, we're going to get a good episode, a really good key episode, which is, for example, next week, the Karina episode where Karina returns to fight Ash. That's going to be a key episode, a big key episode of this series. And then we're probably going to go back to more nonchalant filler again, which is an issue I've been having with Pokemon Journeys since the series freaking started. I said if by episode 10, if it's the same thing, I'm going to get a feeling of what this series is going to be about. There's no overarching big plot other than Ash doing the World Championship battles that come every now and then. It's not frequent. I still wish personally they should have just made him go to Galar and do what he used to do, even though it is repetitive, which is go through all the gym battles only to get to the Pokemon League and lose. And I know it's like, well, you can't really do that story because Ash won the Alola League last Pokemon season. So still it's something. It's something. And anyways, in the games of Sword and Shield, they did the Pokemon League pretty differently than they do now, than they did in the in past games. Like they actually make it a legit like Pokemon League tournament. So, yeah, and then at the end you refight the gym leaders. That would have been cool. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for this episode. But next week, like I said, is gonna be a key episode, an episode where people actually been hyped and been waiting to see. And that is the return of Karina from X and Y, and she's put into this series. So one of the few times where we get a character we've seen in past continuity return, actually remember who the hell Ash is. Ash remembers who the person is. And yeah, it's good. Can we get more? If anything, Pokemon Journeys with Ash and Go traveling all these different regions, I would like it if not all the time, but every now and then we get a cameo from a person from the past, whether it's a former gym leader that had a good connection with Ash or a former traveling companion of Ash. Like, there was like a few times where Ash was in the Hoenn region. We get no cameo of a May, a Max, their dad Norman. No special cameos from those guys. I would like something. Don't freaking do the Kanto thing again. And I swear, if they bring back Misty and Brock again in this series and be like, okay, you guys want to bring back Misty and Brock, but you can't bring back people like May, Max, you know, Dawn, Serena. Even though I don't like Iris and Silent, you can't bring them back. You know, you can bring Lily, Gladion, and Lusamine back because they're off traveling somewhere looking for, I think, the dad. Whenever they decide to go back to Alola, if they decide to go to the Alola region in this show, they can always make Ash be like, "Hey, I know a place where we can stay at for a few days." Professor Kukui and Burnett, and guess what? Maybe you can reveal that, hey, Professor Kukui and Burnett already had their baby, and their kid is just a baby. I would like some more continuity, please. Some more special cameos we get every now and then. And I know you're saying, well, the voice actors are probably hard to get for the show and stuff like that, but still, I would like that. But at the end of the day, we're getting a familiar face in Karina, who was actually in one of the bigger arcs in the X and Y series, and that was the whole, Mega Evolution where Ash was introduced to that and the Lucario and stuff like that. I hope they do show. I hope Ash does show the fact that he does have a Riluyu to Corina. So far, it doesn't look like. Well, in the next episode preview, it didn't look like he showed Riluyu off to Karina and her Lucario. I think it would be cool because then it's something like it would be like the Gladion, Lycanroc, and Ash like Rockruff thing where, the Riolu strives to beat the Lucario. And I think this is where I think this is also where, say, Karina could potentially give, Ash maybe a Mega Ring. Well, may I think, but no, the Mega Stone for Lucario. Because I think the Dynamax band is actually fused with the Mega Evolution band or something like that. I think that's what it's like in the games. But who knows? Maybe she can give Ash a Z ring and be like, here, just in case your Riolu evolves into Lucario, and also here's a Mega Stone and stuff like that. So our Lucario Knight. So yeah, and it seems like Ash is probably gonna fight that Lucario with Gengar. I would have been cool to see Lucario versus Pikachu again, but then again, Pikachu got his W against the same Lucario, so he probably wants something else. So, yeah, I can't wait for next week. That's going to actually be a really good episode that I'm actually interested in seeing, other than these filler episodes. And then I think the next episode after that, we're going to get back to nonchalant filler. So hopefully, Pokemon Journeys comes back and stuff like that. And, yeah, so I'm going to be happy. And Karina's returning next week. So other than that, if you like this video, leave a like. Put in the comment section what are your thoughts on this episode and your hype for next week and stuff like that. So yeah, other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.